answer is yes. And so the first thing I thought we could shout out, so, and I hope you'll participate, and this is definitely, you don't have to listen to me talk the whole time, but who are key advocates when you think of who are the key players in Northwest Arkansas Gives, like in that campaign or in your day-to-day campaign? Who are the people you think of first? Just shout out some ideas.
Business owners.
Business owners. So like you're thinking partners that might sponsor as a business owner. Okay. But who are the key, like who are the key players that, like, I always call it the inner circle, the inner circle. Okay. I'll just give you all the answers and then you'll know. It's your board members, it's your staff, it's past board members, it's your key donors, your larger donors, or even the lady that gives $10 a month and drives up when you have a paper towel drive or a diaper drive and brings a carload of supplies. It's the people that receive services. Those are the key advocates and stakeholders in your inner circle, and they're the people that you need. And I'll explain more of that because we're going to talk a little bit about Fundraising 101 before we go on. I have here that I'm sharing with you. This is the USA Giving, the Giving USA report from 2019. 2020 hasn't been published yet. It usually comes out in June. So we've got a couple more months before we'll know 2020's numbers. And man, won't they be interesting, because, you know, we were in a pandemic. But this is 2019, before pandemic. Almost $50 billion was given to charity. So I see here there's a pie chart, and it shows the percentage of the percentages of where those dollars came from. And this is what I love to explain to fundraisers and to board members. I like board members to know this too. If you'll notice, the highest piece of that pie is 69% came from individuals. So when you're going out and thinking, okay, how can I raise more money? In Northwest Arkansas, we tend to think, ooh, who knows a Walton? Who knows a Hunt? Who knows a Walker? Who knows, you know, anybody from Walmart? We tend to think, you know, Walmart Foundation, Walton Foundation, and all those large donors that we have that people in the other parts of the country don't have. However, if we boil it back down and look, it's individuals who do the most giving. And if you remember that, it will help you realize how to spend your time in fundraising. Now, notice 17% is from foundations. That's where we go back to the Walton family, Walmart Foundation, the Walker Foundation, Kellogg Foundation, Maybe Foundation, all those foundations. That's 17%. Then, this is an aha that I like to point out, 10% comes from bequests. So that's the people that leave you in their will. Well, to me, that's individual fundraising. So I love to just add that to the 69% and remind myself that 79% of all the dollars come from people who know people. And then down here, this little skinny piece of the pie is 5%. And that is giving by corporations. So in our area, we are surrounded by some large corporations. And so we tend to go to them first. But what I'm telling you is that most of the people that give are in the 79%. It's individuals. Now, we're blessed in Northwest Arkansas to have a lot of suppliers here, a lot of vendors, a lot of small businesses, a lot of those things. They also give. But if you remember, if you're thinking of how to spend your time, 5% overall comes from corporations. So that's just a little Fundraising 101. Here's another little example. This is the Fundraising Pyramid. This is a basic staple image that we have in fundraising. And this month, I celebrate my 26 years in fundraising. I did not even know what I was doing when I started at the ripe age of 10 years old. Just kidding. When I started at the ripe old age of 20 something. But when you look at this fundraising pyramid, this also helps you if you're thinking about individuals and how to reach them and how to um, cultivate that relationship and build that relationship between you and them and the organization and the mission and the programs. This is the way they all come in. And Northwest Arkansas Gives is a great example of the bottom of the pyramid. You are trying to get more fishes into the net. You're casting out that net to get more friends. That's at the bottom of the pyramid. That's annual giving, volunteers, your special events like your golf tournaments, your galas, your runs and walks and tailgate parties. All those things are in the bottom of the pyramid. If you have a membership organization like an arts center or Crystal Bridges, these are the people that just come in the door. You're casting that net, you're getting their interest. Some of your best donors probably invited them to the party. Now they're learning about you. You're getting them on your mailing list. You're sending them a direct mail piece. That is all in annual giving at the bottom of the pyramid. And that's like you're identifying them, then you're giving them some information, you're making that first contact. The whole goal of fundraising is to move people up that pyramid, or sometimes I like to call it like the information or cultivation superhighway. We want to get them on there, and then we don't want them ever to exit. We want to keep them engaged, keep them involved and interested, and we want to keep them in that lane so they never exit off the cultivation superhighway. We want them to be our best friends forever. And I'll tell you, the more relationship building you do, the harder it is for people to break up with your organization, because they still feel like they have an ownership in it and they're involved and they're part of it. And if I don't bring the paper towels, who's going to bring the paper towels? So it's all about getting them involved and committed and invested and keeping their interest. So as they're going up the pyramid, that's when we do some like major gifts, and they've given that checkbook gift in the annual giving phase, and then we get them more involved and they might make a larger gift the next year. You'll see in that level is capital campaigns, special campaigns, a major gift program, sponsorships for your events. They tend to fall in major giving because they're larger donations that they have to think of. And then the ultimate goal is to work them right up to the top, which is the pinnacle of everything. Leave your organization in their financial planning, bequest, will, life insurance, all of that. That's the ultimate gift, is that you've gotten them so involved that they really want to leave their legacy for when they're not here anymore. They want to leave something with their, maybe they want their name, maybe they want it anonymous. They just know that they want to keep you involved. So this is very important. And I think Northwest Arkansas Gives is a great campaign to help set you up for how to work people up the pyramid. So that's just a little fundraising 101. Most of the dollars come from individuals. And let's face it, the more you build that relationship with your individual donors, the more they are going to continue to give. You want to keep them involved and keep them engaged so that you're not just waiting till the next year to ask them again. They've been involved all year long with some thank yous and some, you've loved on them, you've celebrated them. I always say a good rule of thumb is to thank a donor 7 times. And I'm telling you, there are so many, that's a whole nother webinar we could teach. And I think I'll be doing that at the end. As a matter of fact, at the end of Northwest Arkansas Gives is showing you how to thank and keep them engaged between the asks. Jay joined us early, and a perfect example that he said, Jay, I hope it's okay that I share. He said he had a friend, a good friend out of nowhere, pledged $250. Well, I bet you it's because y'all were good friends and he wants to help and he believes in what you work on. And it's because you've got that relationship. That's the kind of relationship you want to build with all your donors. You want them to be good friends. You want them to be the VIP club. You want them to be the inner circle. And so that's how you look at that. Okay, so important things that your key advocates can do to help promote Northwest Arkansas Gives. They don't know what to do. They're going to do their best to help because they're passionate about the organization. But you're going to guide them. And I'm going to give y'all some tips today of how you can guide them. You're going to spoon feed the information to them. So we're going to make sure we alert them on the days that they need to go to the Facebook page. You know, your organization's got a Facebook page, or if it doesn't have a social media presence yet, maybe this is a great time to start that. Or you can use email and text as well. But you're going to give them sort of here's the schedule. You know, we've got 4 weeks, Northwest Arkansas Gives. We want it to be very successful. You're going to tell them the days they need to go to the page. And you're going to explain why they need to like, comment, share, tag, and check in on social media whenever they can. And I'll explain that. Facebook algorithm, basically Facebook wants us to, they want us to spend money to share everything. And so we have to find ways to get around that, because we don't always want to spend money on Facebook ads. You know, there are times that it works brilliantly, but for the most part, the best way you can spread the word on Facebook is to have your key stakeholders, your board members, your top donors, your Northwest Arkansas Gives committee, whatever it is you've got that's on the inner circle, explain that they need to go to the Facebook page on certain days, like, comment, share, tag someone when they share, or check in that they stopped by and donated the paper towels, whatever. That's how Facebook, that's how you get things to spread like wildfire in Facebook land. Instagram's sort of the same way too. And with Instagram, it's not as easy because you can't have a link that they can click. But if you can get them to go, you know, like your post and even get, you know, spoon feed them something they can put on their Instagram. We'll get into more of that in a minute. But basically, if you give them an email and say, hey, today's the day, we've made the big post, this is one that we would love it, you know, be sure and like, comment, share, tag somebody when you share it, or tag somebody in a comment. That's how the ripple effect starts on Facebook. Okay, let me see. Why can't I see this? Okay, here's the thing, and I've just thrown some numbers out there. I think you all know your key advocates and your inner circle well enough to know what your goals should be. So when I state something, just make it your own. Make it what feels good in your gut. Like I'm saying, give them a goal to visit or connect with 20 contacts about how Northwest Arkansas Gives is coming up. And, you know, they're thinking, but everybody's hearing about it right now. Well, but everybody doesn't listen until their good friend tells them that Northwest Arkansas is coming up. So 20 people, if they could pick 20 people to send a special email telling about the board they serve on, why we're participating in Northwest Arkansas Gives, what those dollars are going to be used for, and then share, like, why are you on the board? Like, most of the people have a really touching, heartfelt, warm story as to why they even serve on a board. And if you share that with somebody, they're going to want to do it because of the friendship and connection with you. That's kind of like what I was talking about with Jay's friend. He heard about the need. He knows Jay's his buddy, and he's like, man, I didn't know Jay was doing all those great things. I want to help. Have your key stakeholders, you know, set a goal. Is it 20? Is it 10? Maybe you feel like your group could only do 5 each. Maybe you've got a firecracker board and key advocate circle that could do 30 each. I don't know, but give them a specific goal that they're checking off the list. Because I think a lot of times, and I'm guilty of it too, we put it out there, we blanket it out with the big email, and then we think everybody's seeing the post and we think everybody's going to do it because it's so important. But it's not until we send like an individualized plan with specific goals and explain to our board members, this is what I need you to do. And when we get to the end of this, I'm going to give you a rough schedule that you can follow, and even give you time before we hang up to actually hammer something out, so that when this is over, you're ready to just hit send and go, instead of, like I always did, I go to a great training, It's over. I have all these plans. And then I remember there were 3 fires I had to put out before the training. And I go right back to that. And then I forget to do the great things I learned in training. So I'm hoping to leave some time to do that. And I'll be here to help you kind of word it, or however you need me. But you want your board members to share why they're even on the board. Like, why are they so passionate about it? Because when they share it, it connects them to others. And then the specific goal is to, how many emails do you want them to send? How many days a week do you want them to share the Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or, whatever social media, LinkedIn, however you want to do it, we're going to come up with those two. So we're going to help them by actually crafting their message for them. So what's really important is coming up with, what is it that Northwest Arkansas gives? Like, if y'all were to win get the biggest grant, or have the most successful day, what are those dollars going to be used for? Why is there a need? And you want to give them the easy wording that they can share, or if they're caught off guard, you want them to be able just to spout it out, like say the sentence without scrambling and trying to come up with technical terms. It's easy, like with Open Avenues. We want to provide more job training for our participants, our adults with disabilities. We want to provide more training, and we're going to be able to do that if we get this RXY machine or the center, the work center or whatever. Donors love specific things and specific goals. So if you can come up with what is your Northwest Arkansas Gives money going to do, and you have it where you craft the message so that the board or the key stakeholders can share that with their 20 contacts, it's going to make it so much easier for them to help you to be successful. Now, I think you also have them add the sentence about how they need, I'm reaching out to you to tell you about, I'm on this board and here's why I'm so passionate about it. We're a part of Northwest Arkansas Gives. We're going to use the money to buy this piece of equipment that we really need to be, so that we can, solve all the problems next year. And here's what I need. I want you to participate. It would mean so much to me if you would participate on April the 8th. But also, if you could send this message to 20 of your other friends, and it can be some that we're mutual friends with, or it could be a whole new group of friends. We're just trying to create that ripple effect. And if you could help us by sharing this message with your friends, that'd be so great. So you want them to be a part of the Monumental Giving Day, and then you want them to share with their friends. And so you're just spoon feeding these little paragraphs of information to your people. Then we want to give them the actual timeline and keep them accountable so that they know, okay, I'm going to share the such and such on Tuesdays up until Northwest Arkansas Gives. So definitely on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I need y'all to go in and like, comment, and share. And then I've sent you all the email materials. If you do send your emails out before the Friday of each week, that would be wonderful. And you're trying to give them actual goals and deadlines. And here is what I'm thinking helps. I have noticed that sometimes if I have something very important, I go ahead and create it as an appointment request. And I use that Outlook or Gmail or whatever calendar system you use, the digital appointment request. If you invite them all for their deadline and just explain in there, this is deadline 1 for Northwest Arkansas Gives, something where they know they don't have to be anywhere or whatever, you can get that on their calendar, and then that reminder pops up. And honestly, if you did it all the time, it might be annoying. I'm not against it. We want to annoy people that are the closest to us. But if you did it for this special occasion, Northwest Arkansas Gives, it's a great way over the next 4 weeks to lead up to the actual Northwest Arkansas Giving Day. You could have an appointment for, every Tuesday for 4 weeks, they're going to do the social media thing. Every Thursday, social media thing. On Wednesdays, they're going to share the special email with their 20 contacts. And then maybe the next week, they're going to share the special email that's the follow-up to the first email they sent of, haven't heard from you. Be sure and share with your friends. Here's another thing we learned, and they tell a story. You know, you're going to lead them up to April 8th and spoon feed every bit of it to them. And you're going to give them this timeline, keep them accountable so that they don't have to, you know, they're in their mind, they want to help and they want to do, but they need the easiest way. You're trying to make it as easy as possible for them to share. And there are so many ways. You craft a text message version of the store of all the things I've talked about. Craft a text message that you can text out to everybody and that they can copy and share if they want to text their closest, like their family and friends, like, you know, grandma and grandpa, and I'm going to tell my sister and brother-in-law about it because they really will believe in this and they'll want to help me. You want something easy they can send and copy. The emails, craft it, make it where, you know, it doesn't need to be 5 paragraphs long. We know that everybody now is in the Twitter mentality, not the Facebook mentality. So when you're sharing your information, if it goes on and on and on with lots of details and lots of, you know, extras, people don't take the time to read it. And that's a sad thing. And that's a whole nother subject too. But think of the Twitter version. What tells the need, what tells what we're doing in the quickest, you know, simplest fashion so that people can say, oh yeah, and just share it. And then if they're caught off guard and someone says, hey, what was that email about? Instead of having to, you know, well, I was telling you about Northwest Arkansas Gives, it's coming up. We really need your help. We're going to, they just know, oh man, we need this piece of equipment. We really need y'all's help to do it. The email has more details, but if you'll just plan on giving on April 8th, I'll send you a text or I'll send you a reminder to give. You also want to craft their social media post. Most of the people are ready to share the information on social media because you don't have to come face to face with anybody. So it's sometimes easier to do social media. But give them exactly what to say. And that's probably a more like Facebook will have a certain thing and you can label all this for them. Here's the Facebook paragraph you can share. Here's the Twitter sentence you can share. Here's Instagram, the photo you can use with a little bit of text. Here's what you should put on LinkedIn. And then always another algorithm hack for Facebook. If you share a link, Facebook is alerted and they tend to bury those posts because they think, well, if they're sharing a link, they're trying to sell something or share something that they could be buying our ads for. So put the link in the comments. Whenever you're sharing the Northwest Arkansas Gives website or the link to your own website, always like do the post with the paragraph and the really cool picture and then say the link is in the comments. More information is in the comments. And then down in the comments is where you put the link. That way, Facebook thinks it's just a regular old post of you just shared a picture of grandma and that's that. So that's just another little tip. Always train people to put links in the comments and then their message will spread a little further. This was just a crazy idea I had is you could encourage your key stakeholders to have their own Zoom on April 8th with their friends. And you know, it could be 15 minutes long, but you could say, look, I'm so glad you're going to be a part of it. Let's have a party on Zoom and we'll all make our donations at the same time. And then we'll text 20 other people while we're gathered together and we'll share the picture and we'll share the Facebook post again and we'll tell the story. You make it fun, make it something that we all do together. Maybe you meet at 11 or 11:30 to give the updates of what's happened so far. And that way they see if we're kind of behind, they need to text all their people and say, don't forget, today's the day. Or if you're way ahead, they can say, oh my goodness, I should ask my Sunday school class. I didn't even think about my Sunday school class, or I didn't even think about my knitting group or my basketball team. You know, I should have asked them. And you think we can reach more people. We're already this far. Let's keep going. It's just a way to come together. Just an idea. Maybe it's too much. It'd be too much, but it might be fun. And if your organization doesn't plan it for the key stakeholders, encourage your key stakeholders to have their own celebration or party or check-in that day. Um, and then during that day, you want to encourage them to all continue to share the Northwest Arkansas Gives posts and your posts, the links, and just talk, give updates all day. Tell them that you need their help to get the word out. You can't do it on your own. And that is the big thing about individuals that you're trying to reach. You can't do it by yourself because you don't know everybody. And it's so much more authentic when a person that's not employed by the organization is out there, blazing the trail and reaching the people and saying, y'all just don't understand. I love this organization because when I was a kid, we struggled with food insecurity as well. And so I am passionate about making sure we hit this goal today because I don't want kids to be in the position I was in when I was a kid. And I know I've never shared that with you before, but I want to share it with you because I really want us to be successful today in our fundraising efforts. You're just encouraging them to continue to share and post, especially that day. Even if it's, we're in the 9th hour and they feel like they've overshared, just tell them it's Northwest Arkansas Gives. And that day, I've watched it every year. We see the posts all day. You get excited, you get drawn in, you're watching the organizations that you're passionate about, and you're proud that you're seeing how good they're doing. And so you're just having them encourage others to give by sharing and posting. And that's the main thing of what we're trying to do. You want to help them find creative ways to introduce the executive director or the development director, or maybe even a participant. Now, I know a lot of times people who receive the services can't be in videos, or it's just an invasion of privacy, or it doesn't work. But there's a way to come up with a story and maybe a stock image that gives them the image that you're trying to convey. But you want to find creative ways, like, if there's a post that you can do that tells about the executive director, how long she's been there, he or she's been there, the development director, and how Northwest Arkansas Gives, they're so excited about it. It could be short videos that they can share, or they can just simply say, you know what, I want to introduce you to Miss Brenda Neal. I want you to know her because she is just an awesome person. She's the executive director, and I really want you to meet her. That's a different way of coming about it. Or, you know what, I'm doing this, but I'll tell you, our development director, Susie Joe, she's putting our, toes to the fire. She's keeping us on our toes. I really want you to meet her because she's the one that's, organizing this. And I think that you should meet her and hear more about, the organization. But short videos, they go so far. If you could have each board member or key donor or the best volunteer under the sun do a quick video, and I'm talking, definitely not over a minute, 45, 30 seconds, to just say, I'm Allison McElroy, and here's why, and I'm passionate about XYZ, and here's why. And they tell it, and they're done, and they share it on their page, and then you guys share it, and then their family shares it. And it's just a great way, and video tends to spread faster than just words. And definitely a photo. Words are on Facebook, but if you have a photo or a live video or a recorded video, all of that goes faster on social media. You can share short videos through email. And so you could have them do the video and then share it to their 20 emails as one of the follow-ups. Get creative. Think outside the box. Think of what would you want if you were sitting at home, this big giving day's coming. What would grab my heart and just make me think, oh my, I've got to give today. I can't pass this up. We've got to make sure that everybody has toilet paper or whatever it is that you're trying to raise money for. Like, you come up with the creative ways and then use your people to make these short videos or um, a photo of them with their story. You can think outside the box, and it's fun to think of those things that are different. Um, and then you want them to be sure and say why they're excited about Northwest Arkansas Gives, how the funds will help the organization, why we need you today. And last but certainly not least, we have to explain to all of our key people, especially our board members. I know even the staff, if they could do $5 gifts that day, that would be awesome, but especially our board members. They need to make their personal contribution to the organization on the day of Northwest Arkansas Gives, because it is so hard to say, hey, everybody give if you're not giving yourself. So we need the biggest appointment request is for that morning of Northwest Arkansas Gives. You send them all this appointment request that says, at whatever time it kicks off, let's pretend it's 8:30 a.m. It's going to pop up on their screen. Make gift to Northwest Arkansas Gives to kick it off. Board members go first, or call it something, board member challenge, or board members rock, or whatever, and that comes up on their screen. The link is in that appointment request, so they're not having to search for it, and they all give their donation first. And maybe as soon as you see all those come through, you send the email, y'all, 12 out of 15 have given. There's just 3 more. We need. And it just gives that sense of challenge and camaraderie, and like bringing everybody together. And you're giving them that update as well as updates of all the giving. But your board members, they need to be some of the first that donate on that day. And if they're already donating huge amounts at other times of the year, you're not needing them to do a large donation. They're already a huge donor. You're just needing them to do a $20, whatever, just so that their name shows up. And you can say at some point, you can release a social media post or an email or a statement that says 100% of the board gave today. We've already gotten 100% of our board. They've already given. Or 100% of the board, we've got 100% of the staff, and then the key donor club, they've all given today. Like, you want to be able to shout that out so that it shows not only are we asking all y'all to give, but our people, our inner circle, they've already given too. Okay, here's some timeline ideas, because we just have 4 weeks. So now, like I said, this is just loose. Please take it and just make it your own. And I sure hope it is helping all of you in figuring out how to, creative ways to do things. But like today, this would be a time to plan out which things you want them to do each of the weeks or each of the days. So send them appointment requests. And if you don't want to do that, if you're worried that it's going to, blow their minds or make them stressed out, you don't have to do it that way. I just find it works because it gets it on their calendar. So send the appointment requests for their tasks. Like, the first thing you want them to do is, the email to their 20 people. So today you would work on drafting that email that you want them to send. That's very, short and sweet, and might have a photo with it that they can send all their 20 contacts. Compose that message, and then something they can just copy and paste. And then the appointment is, we would like you to get your emails sent by Friday. Today's Tuesday, Friday. And if you want to say Thursday, but schedule the appointment for Thursday at 2:00. And that's going to pop up. And our hope is they'll get it done by 5 before they, check out for the day. So that's like week 1. Give them the tools they need: the email message, the Facebook post, the Instagram version, the Twitter version, the photos that you're going to use of that participant that's like, building something, or that person that is wearing their new uniform at their new job, or, whatever it is, the photo that speaks all the words. You want to make sure they have that saved to their phone and saved to their laptop or computer so that they're ready to go to share that. Then next week, make sure that there's a day that they know they need to go to your organization's social channels and check all the posts. On Instagram, it's harder to share, but they could certainly like and comment. On Facebook, you can like, tag, comment, share. You don't have to do that for every post, but if they could go back to all your posts and work on, like on one, they might like it and comment. On the next one, they might share it and tag some people. And then there might be one where you check in that you show a photo of you stopping by there, and get a picture with the development director or get a picture with the ED, and you share that. But that's week 2. But tell them we need you to do it all 4 weeks, but you're just giving them that reminder next week. And tell them it's 2 to 3 times a week you need to do this. Now, if they did it every day, people would probably start glazing over if it's all in the feed every day. But, during Northwest Arkansas Gives, 3 times a week, 3 or 4 times a week would not be too much to share because there's a deadline. Week 3, that's when they could do their short videos or their quick stories about why they're on the board. What's the need, why they give, why they're so passionate. And then week 4, remind them and schedule some personal Zoom parties or mass texting, like you're gearing up because that's the week of. And then the day before, they share meet the ED or meet a participant or a success story. And then the day of, they donate first thing. And then they follow up with those people that they started working with in week 1, which is this week. They start following up with those people that the day of to say, have you done your gift yet? I sure hope you'll do it. Blah, blah, blah. Whoever of my friends gives, I'll take them to lunch, or we'll have Zoom lunch. But these are just some ideas. You want to have a schedule and you want to have a plan and you want to make it simple and easy to share for your key stakeholders so that first of all, they'll send a cohesive message that you want shared. And then second, there's no excuse. If you didn't share it, I gave you like everything to copy and paste. It just makes it so easy for them to do it, to actually do it and follow up. So I went so fast. I'm gonna, let's see. Okay, let me go back. I'm gonna go out of this for just a second and see if any of y'all have any questions. Because if you have questions, or even if you don't, this is a good time to, make your loose draft of what your schedule is going to be, what you're going to shove down their throats the next 4 weeks. This is your time. But anyways, please speak up if you have a comment or anything. I would love to hear from you.
Don't worry, Allison, this is a shy bunch.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Well, I really like the idea of asking someone to do it as an appointment, as a calendar request, just it's kind of a soft accountability with that. And they can decline it. I mean, we get those all the time, right?
Right.
But I think that's a great way to kind of emphasize it beyond just, hey, it'd be nice to do that.
Mm-hmm. It also sends a message of, hey, we're all doing this on Tuesday at 10. We're all going to get our act together and send our emails. So it's kind of like, I've got to get that done. I've got to get that done. But they don't put it off maybe because they know, oh, everybody's going to be doing, I need to get mine done because they're going to ask, did everybody get theirs done? So it just brings everybody together. Like we're all in this together.
I think with our board too, because we're smaller, just even having a text group that kept everybody involved during the day rather than email is probably going to be more intimate and get a quicker response.
Good.
We have a question here on the chat. How did you get over the fear of oversharing or being annoying? Any tips?
Okay. What I figured out if you're talking about social media and then just the emails and whatnot, I've decided that people really aren't paying attention to you as much as you think you are. So you might think you're annoying, but at some point they're glazing over anyway. So if you've got a great mission to share, do not worry about the oversharing, especially during something special like Northwest Arkansas Gives. There's a deadline, there's an excitement and a challenge because, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. So I think in this part, if you can just take that little voice and say, you know what, I'm going to overshare because I believe in it. And we got something we got to do on April 8th. And by golly, I'm going to keep talking about it till somebody tells me, please don't talk to me about it again. So you've got permission until somebody says, hey, quit sharing those emails with me. Or quit texting me. You've got an open, they're going to know when you say April 8th, they're going to know that this is what it's going to be like till April 8th. And I really don't think when it comes to a great cause, anyone's going to think you're oversharing, especially when it's for this campaign. So I say squelch that voice and just call me and I'll tell you, hey, they're not paying attention. Just keep sending it. Don't worry. They're not keeping score. And if somebody is cranky and says something, just remember that's more about something they're going through than what you're trying to do. 9 times out of 10, it's someone else's battle that they're going through. And if they're rubbed the wrong way, just bless and release them back out into the wild and know that it's not about you and your sharing.
I try to tell people that I'm on my board that, I don't care who I'm sharing with. The people I share with already know me and they wouldn't expect anything different from me. So that's why I'm not bothered with it.
Yeah.
Do we have any more questions or is it time for us to do the drawing?
Woo, who's gonna win?
All right. Well, if you think of any more questions, you can type them into the chat. Now we're going to draw from my trusty hat here and see who wins. We have Jay Stout from the RNCIC. So way to go, Jay. We're adding to your total.
Yay, Jay.
So anyone who wins money in our raffles or any of our prizes, they will not come to you until after April the 8th. Our very generous sponsor, First Security Bank, writes all the checks at the same time. So they will write them at the end. And you may win more than one prize. You never know. So stay tuned for that. Okay, are there any last questions before we go?
Thank you, Allison, so much. It was so good.
Glad to be here and glad to help. And I wish you all the best of luck. And I think I will be on again at the end of March for another session where we talk about, recognizing, thanking, and
she will be on. No thinking.
She will be on.
Our last session in March, the week before, you will have a wonderful session on how to thank your volunteers so you can get thinking about it so that on the actual day you can thank them and then right after as well. So that's something to look forward to as well. See. All right, well, I don't see any more questions in the chat. Lots of thank yous. So thank you everybody for coming out today. And I look forward to seeing you Thursday for anybody who wants to come out and ask their questions at our Better Together sessions, or else next week on Tuesday. We will have Jessie again, I think it is. No, is it Jessie next week? No, next week is going to be on diversity and inclusion. So anyone who's interested in figuring out how to make their fundraising more diverse and inclusive, We're going to have some great speakers for you on that next week. Okay, everyone, have a great week and we'll see you later.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Good luck.